I am Patrice. I am a singer, songwriter, and voice coach who has been in this industry teaching for over 10 years. And so I always say, one of the most beautiful things about that is I've had the chance and opportunity to work with hundreds of artists, and I've been able to really watch and observe what works and what doesn't work. And my sole mission here is to help you all, to show you the things that do work, give you tidbits of advice, anything that can kind of straight shoot to your success. So a common thing that will come up frequently, and I think especially in a world where we can have so much information at our fingertips in moments, right? And that can be good and actually kind of bad. The reason it can be bad is there's so much. So a lot of people go, well, what's right for me? What works? What doesn't work? So today I want to break down essentially 3 things that you can look for when you are trying to figure out what vocal program or instructor to work with. So if you stick with me, I want to show you how you can find the right method for you. So let's dive in. Okay, first and foremost, how can you tell if a vocal method is right for you? Well, simply put, you got to find the right style. So it's amazing. I find also, having been in the industry for so long, I take certain things for granted. And it's always really important as a coach that I walk myself back and think about what it's like when I started my journey or what it's like for a beginner starting their journey so I can aid them effectively, right? And so sometimes I'll take for granted the fact that people know that there's different types of vocal methods out there or vocal singing styles, right? But I think in a world where there is a lot, it's not always, or things can be assumed without really explaining them. This can get pushed under the rug, or people don't know that there is different types of vocal methods or singing styles is really what I should say. And so the 3 basic singing styles are, you have your classical, think about, right, your opera. You have musical theater, Now I'm All Alone Again, right? You have your Hamilton and Waitress and all those wonderful shows there. And then you have contemporary, and under the umbrella of contemporary, you have jazz and you have gospel and you have pop and you have rock. Basically anything you'd hear on the radio or anything outside of the umbrella of classical and musical theater, it's going to fall typically into the world of contemporary. And so that being said, it maybe before was important to do classical lessons. I hear this over and over, and it's such a falsity. And I think again that to clear it up, that you have to take classical singing in order to be a great vocalist. I'm not saying that someone couldn't approach things by taking classical lessons to start, but I don't think it's necessary. And I don't think it's necessary because I think as vocalists, I think within the music education sphere of things, there are plenty of methods that address fundamental things, which I'll get to in a bit, that you need to have in order to be really great vocally, bring out your fullest potential, and vocally healthy, sing. Get my thoughts together here. Sing vocally healthy in all the different styles, right? So maybe before people were trying to sing certain things, and if they weren't instilling good technique, then therefore you'd say, oh yeah, no, you need to have classical, because it's been around a while and there has been methods and people working within that for some time. But most definitely, I just want to reiterate, you do not need classical training in order to be an incredible vocalist. And that's also a testament to when I've had people do that, they come in and they'll be trying to sing something and it's like, you shout it out, but I can't hear a word. And I'm kind of like, okay, it can be pretty. Someone could sound pretty, but again, you kind of hear from that, I sound like a classical singer singing Titanium. And so that's not the style. You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. So if I'm trying to get myself into the realm of being a contemporary singer or solo artist and have a career in that field, classical actually doesn't help me. It can be worse because you're then retraining things over. Whereas if both programs have fundamental things like breathing, you can still achieve great vocal success and vocal health with a contemporary method. So that's what I would just say there. I kind of went on a little rant, but I think that's important to clear up because I hear it over and over and I'm kind of like, oh, it actually can be worse. And so that being said, I would always go, what do I like singing? And find the right instructor from there. And make sure too that they don't say, I've had other people, well, I went to them, I don't know what they were teaching. Like, you should know, I know as a coach what I am. I'm not a classical singer. I have a big history of musical theater, and then I have a lot of work that I've done as a solo artist. So I understand the two realms there, and I think those two can kind of marry each other closely, but look at the person's background and kind of go, do they have experience in either of these? And make sure you can look up examples of them singing and stuff like that so that you really understand, because some people will say, oh yeah, no, I can do it all. And there are people who can. But then you're kind of like, okay, great. What do you do well? Or do you really understand that world? And so that's what I would say. First and foremost is pick the right singing style for you and your goals. Okay, so number 2. What's the second thing that you should be looking for when you're shifting through all these vocal methods or all these different coaches and so forth? Kind of plays off of the first one, and that is make sure they have fundamentals, or I touched upon this in the first one there, is make sure that they do address the fundamentals of singing. If someone is not talking about breathing or tongue placement or how to adjust and work with the tongue, if they're not explaining how sound is produced with the vocal cords, and it doesn't have to be, some people go so deep, and I've had those kind of coaches where I'm like, where they get so intricate and I get lost in it, but you do need a base understanding of things, or should strive for that and want that yourself, to have a base understanding of how the vocals work, and then your fundamental techniques in order to really have a solid foundation. So I would say to people, like, if someone's not talking about, or when you meet with them, I always offer, like, for my artists, like a free consultation, so I can go over the program and people understand what they are getting into. I think a lot of great coaches do that as well, so you can always just check it out, call them up, or you can just see, what it says online and so forth. But yeah, it should be basic technical stuff, fundamental stuff that should be being addressed. Because if they're not addressing that and they're just working with you on singing songs, having you, maybe I hear a lot like, oh, I did scale work and then we worked on songs. And it's like, okay, but like, when you're doing the scale work, do you know how to fix things if things are going off, or like, were certain things addressed so that you can watch for? And it's like, oh, I don't know. And so I'm like, so make sure with that, because that's huge, right? You just singing things, and you can check out another video that I did on this. But yeah, like, you just singing things without actually understanding how to fix things is not going to get you better. That's just the truth. So if a vocal coach isn't actually giving you fundamental stuff or technical stuff to fix when you're running into cracking or going flat, which means you're going under the note, or any of those things there, or straining or dealing with tension, like, run for the hills. Like, that's not good. So that's something you can look for. And if someone's like, oh, why are you even asking this stuff? Like, red flag, run for the hills. Because anyone who's confident with getting vocalists to a great point will be able to go, no, these are the things that you should be doing. These are the things that we work on. So definitely make sure that you are looking for or finding out what kind of fundamental techniques that they are going to work with you on, because that is vital for your progression. Even with that being said, check out below. Below this video, there's a link to the first part of my singing program, Learn to Sing Like the Pros, and you can get them right there. They're laid out, just sign up, and you can get the first part of the vocal program. I go over the basic fundamental things that you need, along with exercises that you can have today, right now. And so, there you go. I'm gonna give that to you for free. All right, onward we go. And the third piece of advice or third tip that you can look for when you are trying to figure out if a vocal method is for you is, do I vibe with the instructor? Right? Because you're gonna have to work with these people. And I always say there's amazing coaches out there. I just want people to feel comfortable with working with me, and that we get along, and they can feel comfortable asking questions, or, you know, I can give them the energy they need to stay motivated and so forth. But there's all different kinds of people in this world. And so you just want to find a good match, someone who has the same energy as you, or can, you know, some people are more strict. I approach things where I'm very, very much goal-oriented, and I believe that goals pull you forward. So I'm always pushing my artists to make sure that they have goals in mind. And they can be small goals of just mastering a song or singing for an open mic. And then they can be massive goals of, you know, releasing their original music or opening up for major artists. Those are all things, those are all different goals, but I feel wholeheartedly that by putting those out there in the world and writing them down, and then we strategically think about how can that happen. Like, if I have this goal, what do I need to be doing? I was just in a lesson yesterday. I'm like, okay, you want to become a well-established artist in there from another country. And I was like, from another country. And it's like, but what kind of, you know, who are you as an artist? So that's the big goal here. And we're working on some slow songs, but like, where's the fast songs, and who are you? It's like we got to reverse engineer some of these things. So that's my approach. Is I'm very much goal oriented, and I want people to think ahead, to go, okay, great, this is what I want. Don't be afraid to put it out there in the world. And then we work on, like, how do we actually make that happen? And in our lessons, what kind of things do we need to be having happen, even sometimes outside of the vocals, in order to make sure that we're staying in alignment with what we want to achieve. And so there's that aspect, and, you know, having fun and keeping things light. I'm also big into understanding technical things like our breathing and, you know, vocal warm-ups, all the stuff there, but also like mindset, right? I think in the many, many years of teaching, I kind of go, okay, great, there's certain things that I just see roadblocks of artists running into, like, you know, the fear of hitting the high notes. Another video you can check out. There's lots of different videos on here. And also comment below too, if there's anything you're running into. I just want to put that out there, that if you're struggling with something, I'm here to help. So just comment below, and hopefully I can address that for you. But yeah, I mean, that's my approach. It's kind of like goal-oriented. Let's have the technique, but let's also make sure that we address mindset, because we need to get that noise out of our head, right? And I think that's one of the bigger contributing factors in people stopping, is they get in their own way. So that right there is sort of the final thing that you can look at. You can look at those three things, is what style is it? What style is the technique? Is that what I'm passionate about? Because people all the time will say, I don't want to sing classical. Then why are you taking classical lessons? There's so many methods out there, including my own. You want it? Contact us. That can help you maintain good vocal health, get an amazing sound, and sing contemporary or musical theater. So you have that there. Then we have that, I'm looking here, I have some notes here. Oh, fundamentals. Making sure, like, great, does this person actually address the key things that are going to keep me vocally healthy and progressing? And then finally there, you can just check out the vibe. Do I like this person? Is my initial reaction like, yeah, no, I feel like I can learn from this person. They match where I'm going with things, my energy level there. So I hope this helps. As always, that's why I'm here. I just said, comment below if you have questions, if you're running into anything. I wholeheartedly mean that. That helps me to get better content to you, to make sure that I'm addressing the things that you guys are all running into. So, and also check out the freebie below. Sign up. It can be yours today. Start you on your path to good vocal health. All right, I'm wrapping this up. I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time it is you are at. And I will see you the next video. And here is to hitting our goals.